It's no secret that celebrity relationships live under constant scrutiny, but when a love story turns into a battlefield of accusations, industry whispers, and public shade, we have to talk about it. Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti, once hip-hop's manifestation success story, are now caught in a storm of rumors that's got fans, insiders, and even fellow artists choosing sides. But this isn't just a typical lover's quarrel. This time, there's a third party being dragged into the mix, and it's none other than Memphis rap star and CMG's breakout artist, GloRilla. According to new reports that are spreading like wildfire across social media and celebrity gossip circles, Angela Simmons has allegedly accused GloRilla of interfering in her relationship with Yo Gotti. And not just interfering, but actively pressuring him to propose. That's right. Angela is reportedly upset because she believes Glo is pushing Gotti to take their relationship to the next level. Publicly, permanently, and now. The alleged interference has triggered a wave of drama and awkward silence, and fans are starting to see signs that something may be seriously off behind the scenes. So in this video, we're breaking down everything. How this unexpected triangle began, what sources are saying about the tension between Angela and Glo, and why Yo Gotti's silence is only adding fuel to the fire. Let's get into the full timeline of events, the hidden layers of industry politics, and the subtle signs that a very private war might be unfolding beneath the surface of hip-hop's most talked-about relationship. Angela Simmons and Yo Gotti seemed like an odd pairing to some, but to others, it was the perfect example of what happens when persistence meets patience. Yo Gotti had been rapping about Angela for years, even referencing her by name in his 2015 hit Down in the DM. Back then, most people thought it was just a catchy line. But as time passed, the rumors started picking up steam. Eventually, the two went public with their relationship in late 2022, confirming what many fans had been speculating all along, that Gotti really did shoot his shot and win her over. The announcement was met with surprise, excitement, and a little skepticism. Angela, a fashion mogul and reality TV veteran, came from a very different world than Gotti, whose image was built on street credibility and Southern hustle. Still, their chemistry seemed undeniable. They shared vacation photos, walked red carpets together, and posted coordinated outfits on Instagram. For a while, they looked like a strong, secure couple building an empire together. But lately, that perfect image has started to show cracks. Fans have noticed fewer posts together. Angela's captions have become increasingly cryptic. And Yo Gotti, once loud and proud about his girl, has gone noticeably quiet. People started wondering, what's going on behind the scenes? And that's where the whispers about GloRilla began. GloRilla, the Memphis-born breakout artist who stormed the charts with hits like FNF, Let's Go, and Tomorrow 2, has had an undeniable impact on the rap game and on CMG, the label led by Yo Gotti. She's bold, raw, unfiltered, and unapologetically real, both in her lyrics and her everyday persona. And while fans love her for that energy, Angela reportedly doesn't. According to sources close to the situation, Angela has allegedly expressed discomfort with how involved Glo has become in her and Gotti's private matters, especially when it comes to marriage. Reports claim that Angela believes Glo has been pressuring Gotti behind the scenes to finally put a ring on it. Whether it's during label meetings, group hangs, or casual conversations, Glo is rumored to have made multiple comments like, "You still haven't locked her down," and "You better marry that woman before someone else does." To some, that might sound like encouragement, but to Angela, it allegedly feels like manipulation. Friends of Angela say she feels that Glo has overstepped her boundaries, especially considering her close business relationship with Yo Gotti. Angela reportedly sees Glo's involvement as a violation of personal space, particularly when it comes to pressuring Gotti about what should be a private decision between two people. And while Glo might not mean harm, Angela believes those repeated comments are creating tension, adding unnecessary expectations, and making Gotti feel cornered. Now let's talk about the man at the center of it all, Yo Gotti. For someone who once openly declared his admiration for Angela on record, Gotti has gone surprisingly silent in recent months. Fans who are used to seeing him flood her comments with fire emojis and captions like mine have noticed a sharp drop in public affection. Some even pointed out that he didn't repost Angela's last few brand launches or show up at a recent event she hosted in New York. And when it comes to GloRilla, he's all in professionally. He's praised her grind, promoted her music relentlessly, and even brought her out during major shows. That's expected from a label boss, But to fans who are connecting the dots, it's looking a little too one-sided. Is he choosing work over love? Is he being pushed in two different directions? Angela on one side wanting a private, pressure-free relationship, and Glo hyping him up to take public action. There's also been speculation that Gotti is hesitant about marriage because of how fast everything has moved. Insiders say he's concerned about mixing romance and public perception, especially with someone as high-profile and brand-focused as Angela. Some say he's privately expressed doubts, not about loving her, but about whether their lifestyles are compatible in the long run. And with Glo reportedly making jokes or dropping comments that amplify the pressure, it's easy to imagine how that would create friction. Gotti might be feeling like he's being asked to choose between maintaining peace in his business circle and fulfilling expectations in his relationship. Angela Simmons, known for her polished image and her commitment to building an independent brand, is not one to explode publicly, but she knows how to send a message. Over the past few weeks, fans have noticed a string of IG stories featuring cryptic quotes. One read, "You can't trust everybody in your circle. Sometimes the snake is smiling right next to you." Another post read, "Let people reveal themselves. No pressure needed." Some fans brushed it off. Others saw it as shade, and now with this new context involving Glo, those posts are getting a second look. Has Angela been subtweeting the entire time? Was she trying to hint at internal drama without fully exposing it? There's also talk that Angela has pulled back from certain CMG-hosted events. Though no one's gone public with receipts, insiders claim she skipped out on a few label-related gatherings where Glo was present. Whether it was personal discomfort or strategic avoidance, the message was loud and clear: there's tension brewing. However, at first, the relationship seemed like any typical label artist setup. Gotti was the mentor, Glo was the new star, and CMG was the machine pushing her to new levels. But over time, something changed. Fans started noticing that GloRilla wasn't just getting support, she was getting priority. Every event, she's there. Every interview, Gotti's praising her. Every CMG move, her face is front and center. And while it's not unusual for a label to back its rising star, it started looking more and more like Gotti was moving based on GloRilla's pace, not the other way around. Yo Gotti has always been a businessman first. Strategic, low-key, and smart. That's how he built CMG into a powerhouse. But since signing GloRilla, fans have started pointing out just how different Gotti's been acting. For starters, his public moves have slowed. He's dropped fewer solo records, made fewer business announcements, and rarely talks about himself. Instead, he's constantly pushing Glo. Whether it's on The Breakfast Club, IG Live, or industry panels, Gotti seems laser-focused on her career. And fans are starting to wonder, is this loyalty, or is this control? Some insiders even claim that Glo signs off on who gets CMG's attention. Allegedly, she's been vocal behind the scenes about who deserves a push and who doesn't. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. CMG's other artists, like Block Boy JB and even 42 Doug, haven't seen the same level of shine lately. People are speculating that Glo's voice holds more weight in CMG meetings than anyone expected. She's reportedly close with the internal team, vocal about her opinions, and according to one source, Gotti doesn't greenlight certain decisions without her nod. Now, power dynamics in music are nothing new. Artists influence execs all the time. But what's making this situation different is how visible the shift has become. You don't have to squint to see it. GloRilla doesn't act like a new artist just trying to survive. She moves like an executive. She sits front row at negotiations, has her hands in brand deals, and reportedly even suggested artists for collaborations on Gotti's behalf. Let's not forget that viral clip from a recent event where Glo whispered something to Gotti, and just seconds later, Gotti changed the topic of discussion. The internet lit up. "She's running the show," fans tweeted, and while some laughed it off, others saw that moment as a clear sign. Gotti trusts Glo's judgment maybe more than his own. Even her tour decisions seem to take precedence. Sources say that when her schedule conflicts with other CMG artist rollouts, her events take priority. Venues are booked around her, CMG staff are shifted to her tour team, and brand partnerships go through her camp first. It's starting to look like GloRilla's rise is CMG's strategy, not just a highlight. And that has major implications for how the label moves and how much influence Gotti actually has anymore. Now, we've got to ask the bigger question, is this actual control, or is it just a case of mutual respect and smart business? Some fans argue that Gotti is simply recognizing Glo's genius. She's relevant, she's got the streets, and she understands the younger generation in ways Gotti might not. If anything, they say this is a smart partnership, not control. Think Beyoncé and Jay-Z or Drake and Noah 40 Shebib. Just because one voice is loud doesn't mean the other one's silent. But then there are people who aren't buying it. They say Gotti's silence and slow fade from the spotlight suggests something else, something deeper. Like maybe he's handed over more power than he meant to. Maybe Glo's influence is so strong that she's calling shots without realizing just how much power she holds. And that's the dangerous part. Because when power dynamics shift too much, things get messy. Others wonder if Gotti is even aware of how his image is changing. Gone is the independent mogul who built empires and made tough calls. Now, fans joke that Gotti is Glo's assistant. Yo assistant, one viral tweet called him. It might sound funny, but for someone like Gotti, image is currency. And people are starting to ask if he's risking his brand by letting one artist have this much pull. And here's where things get even messier. If GloRilla really has that much influence, what does that mean for the rest of CMG? Multiple rumors have surfaced claiming that a few artists on the roster feel pushed aside. Some allegedly believe Gotti is too focused on Glo to support them properly. One anonymous insider even said, "It's like CMG is GloRilla Entertainment now. Everybody else just works around her schedule." If true, this could be a problem. Morale matters in a label. Artists need to feel seen, heard, and backed. If Glo is getting all the resources, all the camera time, and all the Gotti energy, resentment can build fast. And let's not forget, Angela comes from a legacy family. The Simmons name carries weight in music and fashion. She's not just anyone. So being publicly embarrassed, or even feeling disrespected, doesn't sit lightly with her. She reportedly feels Glo's behavior is undermining her place, and she's not about to let that slide quietly. Social media, of course, is doing what it does best, dissecting every detail and choosing sides. One side argues that Angela has every right to feel uncomfortable. Marriage is a huge decision, and it's something that should be handled between two people, not fueled by third-party hype or label gossip. Supporters say Glo should stay in her lane, and that she's being messy whether intentionally or not. But the other side, they're riding hard for GloRilla. They say she's not doing anything wrong, just being real and calling out what everybody's thinking. If Gotti's been with Angela this long, why hasn't he proposed? They ask. Glo, in their view, is just keeping it 100 and encouraging her boss to stop playing house. They also point out that Angela knew what she was getting into by dating someone in the music business, especially someone running a label full of loud, unfiltered voices. There's even a small faction of fans that thinks this whole situation is being blown out of proportion, that Angela and Glo might not even have beef, and this could all be a misunderstanding fueled by online gossip. But whatever the case, the rumors have taken on a life of their own, and the public's appetite for more is only growing. At the time of this recording, neither Angela Simmons, GloRilla, nor Yo Gotti have addressed the accusations directly. But the silence speaks volumes. With both women maintaining strong fan bases, and with Yo Gotti's brand potentially caught in the middle, this could go one of two ways. Either it all dies down quietly behind the scenes, or it explodes into a very public showdown that shifts the entire CMG narrative. If Angela feels disrespected enough, she might walk. If Gotti continues to stall on marriage, fans may take that as a red flag. And if Glo keeps catching strays, she might clap back in a track or a tweet. Either way, the balance is fragile and hip-hop is watching closely. One thing's for sure, when relationships and business mix in the public eye, things get messy fast. So what do you think? Is GloRilla really pushing Yo Gotti to propose, or is Angela just feeling the pressure? Is this just harmless encouragement or a real overstep? Let's talk about it in the comments. Be respectful, keep it real, and drop your take below.